things sports. The Timberwolves stave off elimination. The Panthers bounce back on the hunt. Ty Lue will stay a Los Angeles Clipper, and we are back to give you the real in sports. I'm Small Town EP, live from Atlanta. Wade Julian, live from NYC. Big Kev Shot It has the night off as he is at the Florida Panthers
Yes,
watch party.
sir.
We'll get to all that in a second, but before that, special guest for the evening, small town pioneer, Boston native, this evening's resident Celtics fan, Strictly SP, first time on the pod. Very happy to have you, man. How you doing today?
Man, I appreciate y'all for having me. Hey, cause them claps got to be louder, bro. I don't appreciate that.
That's all
I'm
you
taking
get,
that.
my boy.
I'm
That's all
taking.
you
I'm
get.
taking. I'm taking everything's gonna be personal with you right now. There we go. Appreciate that. Nah, but I do appreciate you mean the love. I appreciate you guys got me here, especially that I'm a Celtics fan. You know what I mean? I know how that vibe is already.
Don't worry, man. June's a Red Sox fan. I'm a Yankee fan. After July, we don't really get along on the pod for
You
for
know.
for half the week at least. Hey, but like I said, man, resident Celtics fan hanging out with us, just as Boston is hanging out, waiting for the Western Conference NBA
Mm.
Finals to finish, and we'll jump right into it. Strix, people are saying the media's talking. Boston had a bit of a cakewalk to the finals. Jimmy Butler wasn't playing for the Heat. Then you got a Donovan Mitchell-less Cavaliers, and I mean, the last round, I don't know. You know what I mean? Pacers were pacing, but they weren't keeping up. Are
Yeah.
you are you impressed by this Boston Celtics run? Before you answer that, I want to preface it by saying I think this is when your season starts. I've said it a couple times on this pod. I hear you like 4-0, 4-1, 4-1, but your season starts now. We expected you to get to the finals. Are you impressed by the run that you guys have had thus far, Strix?
So we talking Celtics already? Off the bat, that's what we're doing already. We just
Off
Yeah,
the
straight.
yeah,
bat.
yeah, yeah. We getting you in and out, bro. You don't even got to stay the whole show.
All right, give me 1 minute. Hold on. One minute.
Oh no. Oh no.
I was not prepared for any of this.
Oh, the Bucky.
All right, now I'm ready. My fault. I didn't know we was going straight to it. You know what I mean? Bucket hat shorty. You know what I'm saying?
Okay
Mm.
then.
You know what I'm
I ain't mad
saying?
at it.
All right, bet. So what was the question again? My fault. My
Are
apologies.
you impressed? That's funny. Are you impressed with the Celtics run so far in the playoffs?
Listen, man. Let's go back to the IG post that I've been seeing. Yeah, I mean, a
Mm.
lot of people have been feeling away because they feel like our run was the weakest, or we got there on some weak stuff. One, I didn't hear y'all talking when what's his name again? From Toronto, who still didn't make it when he went to the Clippers. What's his
Kawhi.
name? Oh
Kawhi.
yeah, Kawhi, right? When they won the championship, nobody was talking that nonsense neither. But once my team got to pull up and do what they got to do, niggas want to be like, y'all niggas made it on a flimsy. Bro, listen, bro. One, we show who we was through the beginning of the season. We was number one, and we remained number one through the whole season. That's
Hmm.
one. Then second thing at the end of the day is like, bro, don't get mad at me because y'all niggas can't stay. Y'all niggas getting hurt. Stay healthy. That's what you get. That's what you get paid for, right? To stay healthy. So I don't want to hear none of that. You can call excuses all y'all want to, nigga. We here. We gonna get it. Like I said, it is what it is. Even though it's not the show, it's ATS. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is at the end of the day. Y'all just hating, and that's what I got to say about it.
I'm not even gonna really ask June if he's impressed with the run because I know exactly where that's gonna go.
So, oh yeah. So wait, before you go, so let me answer your question one more time because I didn't answer the question. Am I impressed? Yes, I'm impressed because at the end of the day, through the whole season, even though playoffs in the regular season is two different entities, but at the end of the day, through the whole seasons, we did what we needed to do, and that's win.
I hear
Yeah,
that. I
it's
hear
a
that.
fact. It's
June
a fact.
reaction.
Yeah, no. I listen. I mean, I can hate on the Celtics all I want. I'm never going to be a fan. I'm never going to support the Celtics in any winning movements. But at the end of the day, my responsibility is to come up here and give my honest thoughts and truth. And the truth is, as I've said throughout the season and throughout these playoffs, is that yeah, the Celtics are a 64-win team. This is the best team in the league, and they have been improved it. Now going back to the point of going back to your original point, I know you saying their season starts now. I've answered that question since and said I think their season has started in October. Right? They've gone through the gauntlet. They had to play who was on the rosters in each playoff series, and they did their job, and they've won handedly. You know what I'm saying? So I got to give credit to Boston for making it look as easy as it is, because regardless of Donovan Mitchell missing games, Tyrese Halliburton missing games, and Jimmy Butler not being there, to 4-1 and to 4-1 is tough. Like that's and to sweep in the Eastern Conference Finals, that's tough. Everybody's hurt, everybody's banged up. You know what I'm saying? Going on the road and winning in a hostile environment like Indiana, going to Cleveland and doing what they did there. Yeah, you got to give the credit there. And Jaylen Brown, I got to point it out, like super impressed. I think he's taken that next step over Jason Tatum as, like, if you will, best player on the team. I think it's the 1A, 1B, but Jaylen Brown has definitely stepped up to the point where you feel like he wants this role a little more. And
whoa, are you?
I don't know if y'all got me still.
Yeah, you're still here. You're
damn.
good.
Yeah, you're back.
And like I was saying, we have the Western Conference Finals still in effect. I believe Game 5 has gone live as of about 5 minutes ago, if I'm not mistaken. About to go live. They're still in pregame. Mavericks, Timberwolves, Game 5. Dallas leads 3-1. The line is Minnesota -4.5 this evening. Strix, who do you think is the better matchup between the Mavericks and the Timberwolves for you all in the finals?
Honestly, I don't give a fudge who we play. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I care about is let them keep going. Let them keep getting banged up so we can have an easy road to the championship. Let's get it.
Hey, I love it. I love it. Now, I got a question. Should you be weary of too much rest? Like, let's say the Timberwolves get this game tonight, it win 2 in a row, they push it to 6. Should you guys be wary of legs are a little too rested going into the finals?
Nah, because I trust in our coach. You know what I'm saying? That young man, or I call him a young man because his coaching years are young. So that young man, he's done a great job taking over, and the way he's coached and the way he's been coaching, I feel like he knows what to do. So I don't think the rest is gonna do anything ill to us. Honestly, I feel it's gonna help us actually, because there are things that we do need to tighten up on, even though we don't want to change a lot of things, because I feel like at the end of the day, you don't want to change even though you can make changes to help you out. You don't want to fix what's not broken. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's moving the way it needs to go. So I don't think we're gonna make a lot of changes, but there's certain things that we probably need to tighten up. And one of those things I would say that he probably needs to be tightened up is, like, I think PK is gonna come back. So we've been playing so good without him. So we want to make sure that when he comes back into the lineup, it's not gonna be what the fuck is going on here type of moment. So I feel like this rest is gonna help us out to bring him back into the lineup.
Word, word, word. And I'm glad you mentioned KP, because I'm gonna mention KI. And the narrative that's going around with KP possibly returning to Dallas and Kyrie possibly returning to Boston in these finals. What kind of energy should Kyrie expect walking back into TD Garden? I know one of the last times you saw him, he was saging the arena before the game started, stepping on the logo in the middle of the court. What kind of energy should Kyrie expect to receive?
um, truthfully, it should be love, but it ain't gonna be that much love because, like I said, man, we're focused right now, man. We don't care about none of that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's gonna be a misconstrued situation, because people, if you get booed, it's not gonna really be, in my opinion, it's not gonna really be because of his past of him being with us. It's really gonna be because, like, bro, at the end of the day, we don't like y'all right now, bro. Like, it's time to turn up. So you probably might use that against him, but overall, I think it's still love, bro. Because I feel like a lot of Boston fans do know that he's top 3, 5 point guard in the league right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As we work on getting June back right now, I mean, I would say I agree. It should be love. I don't know if it will be. I'm familiar with the energy in Boston. I got a couple of friends, family members from the area. I know the energy that they bring when it comes to their hometown teams, not just the Celtics, but i.e. the Patriots. Whoever it may be, man. Even the UMass team, bro. You know what I'm saying? Boston College, it don't matter.
Turn
Uh,
up.
you know what I'm saying? They turn up, they arrive, they defend, and they proverbially stand on business, as the youngsters like to say. June, before we lost you, we are talking about the better matchup, possibly, and the narrative of Kyrie going back to Boston, KP going back to Dallas. Who do you think is the better matchup as far as Minnesota or Dallas?
Yeah, I mean, my bad, y'all boys. Listen, sometimes we got bumps in the road. You know what I'm saying? We got to get overcome some shit. But anyways,
Sound like a true
um,
Miami fan right there. But my bad.
Oh
Go
my
ahead.
god.
I'm gonna let you listen. I'm gonna let you get all the shit off because once the finals start and y'all boys is down in the series, we're gonna really see. I do like the Dallas and Luka Kyrie dynamic. You know, going against two honchos like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Before I was, I guess, rudely interrupted by my technology on my side, I was trying to get to the point of how Jaylen Brown has stepped up to be that 1A of the 1A 1B, and it looks like he wants to embrace that. Is kind of what I was getting at. So much credit to him for what he's led and also winning, the second annual Eastern Conference Finals, I guess Larry Bird Award for Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Um, I think having two, dynamic scorers, 3-level scorers at that, to be able to face up against Boston is going to be pretty crucial, especially if Boston can get, Kristaps Porzingis back. It's just going to be very tough for a young guy like Lively down there to contain. But with the Minnesota matchup, obviously Anthony Edwards, a do-it-all guy. He's only one guy though, and he's really your main threat on the perimeter as far as offense. So if Karl Anthony Towns, which we'll get into the game tonight, but like a key for Minnesota is Karl Anthony Towns has to hit his shots, right? And so if he's not doing that, Boston, can honestly run through that. And I think Minnesota is a really great defensive team. So I don't want to just make it seem like they're no match for Boston. But seeing what Dallas has been able to do against Minnesota at times and seeing, the inexperience, if you will, from Minnesota in a big moment, it kind of just inclines me to say that I think, a Kyrie and Luka led offense would fare better, I should say, against this Boston team.
Interested to see if Kyrie does make it back to Boston, if he's going to be staging the arena and stepping on the logo in midcourt. We'll see how that turns out.
I'll be honest with you. I think he should, even though you know what I'm saying, it's my team. Give us the ammo one, and then be entertaining. You know what I'm saying?
We've been talking about the Western Conference Finals. We've been kind of peeking into it, so let's get into it right now. Game 5 has officially tipped off. About 4 minutes into the first quarter, Dallas is up by about 6 points, 14-8, with a little over 8 minutes left right now. The line was Minnesota -4.5. June. Can Minnesota get another one and push it to 6 games?
Yeah, I think right now all the pressure is on Dallas to close out, right? Dallas wanted to sweep. I don't think they wanted to go back to Minnesota and have to try to, you know what I'm saying, close out on the road. It's always tough in that last game, right? You get to the 3 wins, great, but that 4th win is really, really where you got to show a lot of grit. Going back to the Boston series, they were down 18 points, came back and, put their feet in the ground and had to muscle up, and they found a way to win. So Dallas is going to have to go into a hostile environment where Minnesota hasn't played their best basketball, and that's the odd part about this whole thing. Like I wouldn't say necessarily been a better road team, but they've either been just as good on the road or even better on the road than they have been defending their home court. And so I would expect Minnesota with nothing to lose to come out, full of energy and ready to fight. But Dallas is at a position where if they let this one slip away too, game 6, like it becomes a toss-up. And I'm not going to be delusional as if 154-0 isn't the record for 3-0 series. Like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. But the story sounds cool. Like, if anybody was to do it, it's an Anthony Edwards led team. You know what I'm saying? And Dallas doesn't necessarily have like that dominating factor about them, right? They win good games, they win close games. They don't just blow out their opponent and show that like, all right, by far this is the better team. This is the finals lock. So tonight they need to show a little bit of that and show that they're ready for Boston, ready for the next opponent. Because if you keep giving these chances to these young hungry guys in Minnesota, I mean, shit, I could see Minnesota winning tonight and then possibly sending that shit to 7, going back to Dallas and winning Game 6. So like, I don't want to think too far ahead, but it is a possibility, and I think Dallas understands that, so they're gonna play with a little bit of pressure, right? There is pressure from Dallas, and yeah, Jason Kidd versus Chris Finch. I think that's gonna be a good matchup tonight too. Like, are the lineup? We're gonna have to see some better lineups from Finch. Also, as far as like keys to winning this game from Minnesota, in my opinion, I already spoke about Karl Anthony Towns knocking down the shots. It's going to have to come from their top 2 offensive players, him and Ant. They're going to have to play at all-star level, elite basketball. And then I think the bench, right? Minnesota's bench is going to have to hold it down versus Dallas's bench and outscore them. So obviously you can easily say, stop Luka and Kyrie, and yeah, that's gonna go a long way. But in reality, those are 2 all-star guys, 2 top 5 guys in their position right now, and so we might not be able to stop them or not let them score 30 apiece, but we can do everything else, and we can do what we do on our end at an exceptional level to get us to win this game. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Who is we?
We is Minnesota, like their mentality. I mean, Miami Heat, you know that.
Okay, I was trying to make sure because I was.
Yeah, nah, you know that. You want me to get the? You want me to? I didn't bring merch. Sorry.
Hey man, real fans know what time it is.
Hey, I mentioned the matchups as far as maybe getting Mike Conley off the floor in the fourth quarter, because I think he can be a good leader on leading voice on the bench, but on the floor it just doesn't really look cohesive right now. Cat, prior to the last game, as we mentioned, going 4 for 32 from 3, just continuing to put up shots that just blatantly aren't going in, aren't hitting rim. That's completely unacceptable. I don't think it comes down to effort. I think that was just coming down to not getting the job done simply. Strix, how interesting does this get if Minnesota pulls off another game and sends this to 6? Should Dallas be afraid?
I don't think Dallas is going to be afraid if they lose this game, to be honest. I think it has nothing to do with Dallas overall. I really think it has to do everything to do with Minnesota, to be honest. I think the court's really in their favor. And when I say favor, meaning because even if they do, it just depends how bad they do is what I'm trying to say. Because right now you got Ant-Man. And Ant-Man, I feel like as much as we love Luka and we love Kyrie, but Ant-Man is the talk of the town. And we're looking at him like he's Jordan right now. So I feel like at the end of the day, it's just all on him to, continue for us to call him Jordan, or for us to look at him like, all right, bro, next year.
Yeah. Just to piggyback off that real quick, like, there's conversation about his confidence and like the cockiness, if you will. Last episode we were talking about how he called out Kyrie Irving, and this is kind of him, getting that. But we saw after last game, he said, "Yo, Micah Parsons is wearing my shoes in Dallas." Like, I told him, "Wait for me. I'm coming back. Game 6. I'm gonna get you another pair." Like, he's not gonna shut up for us. He's not gonna humble himself because he's down 0-3 and it's now 3-1. Can he go and take it to 3-2? I totally believe in him. Like, I do think he can make this a competitive series. I'm not saying he's gonna go and win it, but he could make this a competitive series. And I do think that it's important for him to continue to have that level of confidence in himself, keep his teammates' energy and confidence and belief high above water, because it's going to start with him. Like Strick said, if he's just staying afloat and trying to keep his head above water, and his guys are seeing that, like, yo, man, you wasn't doing that at the All-Star break. You wasn't doing that when we had the number 1 seed, at the end of the season. You wasn't doing that round 1 or 2. Why are you doing it now? You know what I'm saying? Nah, keep that shit popping. And at the end of the day, they didn't lose. They're still in it. They still have a chance to go to the finals.
Facts.
And so I think it's very important for him to keep that high energy and be that, you know, youthful, you know, energetic, positive ball of energy in the locker room for Minnesota.
Valid.
No, absolutely. And I mean, you said it a second ago, June. Why not an Anthony Edwards led team? You know, to put up that 1-154 record. You know what I mean? And it would be. Can you imagine if they pull this off? If they shoot, you know, if they win 3 straight now, it's gonna be a part of his legacy at that point. It's gonna be like, yo, he said it, he showed it, and he proved it. You know what I mean? So absolutely, bro. Pop your shit. It's all good. It ain't nothing, Strix.
And don't forget, you know, we almost did it last year too, by the way.
But almost ain't enough.
Hey,
and I'm actually just since we're here, I'm actually glad you brought that up. You just, you know, you let me relive a great moment. You know, we went
valid.
We went up 0-3. We lost 3 straight. Derek White, ball-headed ass, hit a game-winning shot, lucky bounce. And then guess what? We went to Boston, fucked the whole game up, shitted y'all out the building, left. Fans was leaving early, if that, whatever. So what I wanted to say, with that being said, we're at a point right now where, you know, we got you on the pod. You're gonna be on the pod again. You'll be here for the finals. I'm going back to the first question EP asked us. Am I impressed? I did say I was, but I'm impressed for what they've done throughout this season because it is impressive. The numbers they've put up, the way they've been able to make it look as easy as it is. But at the end of the day, if they don't win a finals, it's not impressive anymore. It goes, all that goes out the window. It's only impressive because it's still alive. And once it dies and it fizzles out and you guys aren't, you know what I'm saying? Number 18, as you guys say. This shit, y'all been here before. This is Jason Tatum's 7th conference finals. This is about, it'll be like LeBron said in 2012, about damn time. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where y'all are at right now. If Jason Tatum wins that finals, he needs to quote LeBron James about damn time, and he could finally breathe. But head coach Mazzulla, I don't see it happening, boss. We'll talk about that later.
Hey,
is it my goal? We're gonna keep going.
we're gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep moving, man. In the words of a young man by the name of Slim Charles, The Wire season 4. The thing about the old days, them the old days. You heard? You know who?
If I may, a lot of interjection here, and I apologize, but I did see a comment. Brian Scalabrine, who is Boston Celtic, you know, legend. They love him over there in Boston. I'm not sure how SP feels about him, but he calls games for the Celtics nowadays. He did say he does not believe that this 2024 team is not as dominant as the 2008 team. I agree with him. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that, SP, if you will.
No, honestly, I think it's full circle too. Because I had a question for y'all. I do believe this team is the best team we had in a long time. And the
that's not the answer to the question.
I mean, I kind of did. That's the answer though. Like, just to let you know, if how is it not?
Okay, it's the best team in a long time. Since 2008, this team is more dominant.
Yeah, are we saying 16 years, long time?
I mean, maybe since Kevin Garnett and them, to be real with you. And the reason why I say that is because this is the most balanced we ever been. This is the most balanced we ever been. We got our big man hurt, and we're still dominating in the paint.
Oh no, I'm letting you get your points out. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I know. I really wasn't trying to do nothing. I was waiting.
Yeah. So I mean, my thing is like 2008, 2009. You know, it was obviously a different NBA, right? This was more of a defensive league. There wasn't as many 3-pointers being chucked up on both sides, but I think you guys were embarrassing teams a bit more, you know, back in the days. And you guys, to the balance point, you know, you had a really good defense with guys like Tony Allen, Brandon Bass, Kevin Garnett. You had Paul Pierce and Ray Allen holding it down in the perimeter with Rondo, you know, facilitating everything, and KG being a Hall of Fame, you know, mid-range god. So this team, it's like the loss to the Heat in Game 2. You know, I don't think that happens at home versus the '08 team. The loss to Cleveland, I, and not to say you guys would have swept through like the playoffs, but in the fashion that you did lose those games, to me, I think there are differences that you can see from that '08 team to 2024. But it is fair to point out that this is one of your better teams in the last 15 years, 100%. Like I'm not disagreeing with that.
That was the question, right?
Which team is more dominant was the question.
I mean, you just said it though. I mean, I thought that's how you. That's how.
I think 2008 was more dominant. I'm with Stella.
How when you just said this team right now is the all right, bro. You got that.
Well, just to clarify, I'm saying this team is definitely one of the better teams you've had in the last 15 years. Yes. Do I think from those two teams, this is a better team? No. But I agree to disagree.
That's what you're doing to yourself. But I hear you.
We'll let you get your shit off.
Oh man, listen. I know I said in the intro, Ty Lue signs an extension, 5 years, some lucrative money. Will stay in Los Angeles for their new rebuild. Essentially, they're getting a new stadium. A new stadium. That's crazy. New arena because it's not a stadium; it's an arena. They're getting a new arena, revamp the logo, bringing back the vintage, I guess, Clipper meaning of a sailboat. Neither here nor there. Sounds cool. June, good extension. A lot of teams wanted Ty Lue, including the other Los Angeles team, but they're still looking for a coach. And I'll say looking in quotations. Yeah. But was the Ty Lue extension a good signing?
Great signing. I mean, this is a guy who has had a lot of success since he's been there. He's a successful head coach. He won a title in Cleveland. Have the Clippers amounted to the success that we thought they would? Absolutely not. Like, he is coaching at over 500 since he's been there. He's at like a 579 win percentage. In a tough Western Conference, we gotta give context for everything. Like, injuries he's dealt with from his two superstars that they traded everything for, being Paul George, really, with the OKC Thunder. Given all of that, with the roster shakeup that he's had to control and the amount of different starting lineups, you can compare him to Coach Spoelstra in the regard of what he has, he will do the most with, and he's going to get the best out of who he's playing that night. And we know the Clippers to be an unhealthy team for the last 5 to 6 years that are just interchanging. It's like watching the fucking Panthers and Rangers, with their line switches. So you have to give Ty Lue credit. You can't look at it like he has Kawhi and Paul George and Chris Paul or James Harden, and they didn't, no. There was a lot that went into what Ty Lue has done as a coach for the team. So off that, I think he deserves an extension. Now, as far as him getting $14 million a year, Spoelstra getting that $15 million a year, these are two top coaches in the league. These are coaches that players would want to sign on your team to play for. And so that's another thing you got to think of. Like, if it doesn't work out with Kawhi and Paul George by next year, I'm sure they're going to have to try to figure something else out. And it's going to mean, hey, Ty Lue is still here, and we have something to attract, whether it be a younger star, whether it be a vet, somebody to be in the building, because at least you're going to be well coached. We're going to put ourselves in the best position to win as possible. So I do agree with the signing or re-signing at that. Going into a new arena, it's like a new beginning with the uniforms and the logo and the arena, the new fan section they're going to have there at the whatever arena it's called, I forgot. But yeah, I think it's well deserved for Ty Lue. SP, what you thinking?
I think the real story is, are we keeping Kawhi or not?
Who's we? Oh,
I was trying to talk like you. My apologies. Nah, but yeah, I think that's really where the real story is. I think what other coach would they have? You know what I'm saying? Like, he did his job. He did what he needed to do. There's no other coach I know that any team would want at the end of the day. So yeah, you got to keep that. You got to keep Ty Lue. Like I said, I feel like the real story is: are they gonna keep Kawhi or not? Because Kawhi is prune. That's just my opinion. I don't see him as a big star as everybody else does. So I feel like I feel like they should get rid of him, get a big man, and build over the rest. Build with the rest of the team that they have.
And so, just to that point, you mentioned Kawhi. I didn't want to single him out because I don't think that this is, and I'm not saying you think so. I don't think all of the unsuccessful tries in the playoffs is contingent on Kawhi Leonard. However, his injuries have a lot to do with the reason they're in the position they're in, where they haven't really won anything serious. With that being said, Stephen A. Smith today or yesterday mentioned that he thinks Kawhi Leonard is the most. What is the quote? I don't know if it was a boring or basically the worst superstar in sports history. There's an argument to be made, which is a bit crazy in my opinion, being as though he's a two-time MVP, Finals MVP, and champion, and a Defensive Player of the Year. So like,
Why you disagree though? I actually agree with that.
okay, so like, whether you think he's boring, whether you think he gets hurt a lot, the resume speaks for itself as far as what he's been able to do while he's healthy. The Clippers' record when he's healthy and when he played with Kawhi, or when he played with James Harden and Paul George, it's there. And so it's pretty unfortunate. And we've seen this throughout sports in, in history, that some guys just can't stay healthy all season, or even for most of their careers. And it's super unfortunate. I think that's the case with Kawhi Leonard. I'd like to hear why you think you agree with Steven.
I don't, because I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't hear the statement general from the mouth itself. But from what I'm hearing, what EP said though is he's just basically trying to say that he is a superstar, he is a star, a superstar, whatever you want to put it as. But he's one of the boring players in the league that we have this far.
Yeah,
he's not right, especially because he hasn't been playing. But at the end of the day, he's not like he's not giving us
like marketable.
He's not entertaining. You want somebody entertainment, and that's the reason why, going back to Timberwolves, that's why we put in so much weight on Anthony Edwards like that, because he's being entertaining. Yeah, he's entertaining us. So it's like, nah, he's a star now.
And so the quote was, "He's the worst superstar in sports." Like, that's his argument, and I think that's just a little harsh.
The wordplay is a little bit too much.
I think it's a little harsh. And obviously, Stephen A is doing it for TV, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to Stephen A. He's making his bag, and he's where he is because of how he's been able to do, good in his career. But like, that to me is a little harsh. I do get you as far as Kawhi Leonard being boring, being a non-marketable guy, if you agree with that. Because back in 2020, after the 2019 season when he won, I wanted him to get on the cover of 2K, right? And they opted for Damian Lillard. And I'm like,
how does that make sense?
And I get it though. Like, in looking back, like, okay, yeah, Damian Lillard is way more marketable. He's more of a fan favorite. And so that leads me into the question real quick. Go ahead.
I had a question too. I was gonna say, when we say marketable, what does that really mean? Because I'm not trying to say that Kawhi isn't marketable. Because for example,
but I don't think he is too much, because he's obviously the face of New Balance. But like,
that's crazy.
What are we getting out of it? Like, what commercial? Like, the commercials aren't. What I'm saying, he doesn't get a lot of TV time. We don't see Kawhi doing things in a spotlight, and not to say whether he wants to or not. But as a superstar in a league like the NBA, the big guys are. That's what they do.
Yeah, but so double sword. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make, with the part of him being boring. Then on top of that, I just feel that it's probably him doesn't want to do these things, because to me, I don't want to call him not marketable, because let's use Beast Mode for example. At one point, we wasn't hearing nothing about him until they lost the championship, and once he was like, "I'm here for practice," everybody used that as marketing for him, and we've seen him everywhere ever since then. Yeah. So my point is, like, they gotta play into him or whatever his character is. But I feel like he probably doesn't want to do that. So I won't say he's not marketable. I just think, like you said, or going back to what I think how EP worded it the first time, he's just boring.
Fair point. Now, what I was gonna ask is, who do you guys see as being on 2K25? And why do you guys believe it's gonna be Ant-Man? He thinks it's Jason Tatum.
No, I think it's gonna be Brown or Jason.
Hell no.
It's gonna be Brown or Jason. It's gonna be Brown or Jason.
It'll definitely.
We can go back to Jaylen Brown not winning shit, because he ain't gonna win that 2K. Fuck no.
Oh man,
It's
I'm just gonna
Ant-Man,
laugh.
man. It's the kids are gonna buy it, and that's what it's about,
Nah,
and
no.
there are.
Now I was gonna say you're right. All jokes aside, though, yeah, nah, I will put my bid in for Ant Man at the end of the day because his shoes is going crazy. I would know.
Yeah, I mean there are reports of Kawhi, like you were saying, Strix, not wanting, to do the TV promos, being at shooting and being like, "Yo, are we done here? Can I go? Like, is this it? We got any more? So I think he just wants to hoop. He doesn't want to do the extras. You know who else doesn't want to do the extras? Bronny James opts out of some NBA workouts, and people are a little up in arms, especially after his agent Rich Paul, one of the best sports agent, next to Scott Boras at this point. Best sports agent. A lot of people are clients of his, including LeBron James. It makes sense that Bronny is also, being represented by Rich Paul. Rich Paul comes out and says, "We will not sign a two-way contract. Bronny will not sign a two-way contract. Bronny is projected around in the mid 50s as far as the NBA draft is concerned right now, which honestly is where most players will sign two-way contracts." June, was this a good remark by Rich Paul or a bad remark by Rich Paul?
I mean, it's Rich Paul, and he's the best agent in the game right now. So he has a formula. I'm not gonna sit here and try to disagree with him and nitpick it and tell him what he's been doing is wrong. I think he understands the market. He understands what's best for his client, and so I'm not gonna lie. If Rich Paul says so, I'm rocking with that because I don't necessarily know. Like clearly, like you said, Bronny is ranked he's ranked way far back. Some pages are telling us we could see him at 16, we could see him at 17, and some guys are like we could see him at 50. Some guys are like he might go undrafted, and so we don't know. Obviously, I think Rich Paul has a better grip of who has an interest for him. The teams are talking. It's not like there's no indication of what's going to happen in the draft, and I also don't think he would advise him and steer him the wrong way at this point. So somebody knows something, and I'm sure Rich Paul has spoken to people that make big decisions so that he could tell his client, hey, we don't need to do school. Trust me on this one. It seems more of that. We're going to have to find out because, yeah, I mean, it is obviously going to be something that Bronny James is drafted, if so, off his name, more so than what he's did in college. His stats were 4.8, 2.8, and 2.1 in 25 games with USC. Clearly, we understand the heart condition. We understand that, he was dealing with that, and he's a little undersized. That would have led me to say, shit, go back to school. I think Bronny should have went back to school. But again, I'm not in the circle that they're in to tell him what I think is the best idea. So I'm gonna rock with Rich Paul on this one.
You rocking
And
with Rich Paul. I'm rocking with that the fact that LeBron James is his dad. They just call it what it is. I'm not gonna
damn.
sugarcoat it. LeBron James is dad. He's gonna make it into the lead. And going back to what you just said too with the whole heart injury, you know who else had a heart injury and it was actually better than Brownie?
Jeff Green or who? Oh, you saying in college?
Yeah, Shaquille O'Neal's son.
That's true.
So
Yeah, sure.
again, Brownie's gonna make it in the lead because his dad, and I'm not mad at that because at the end of the day, I don't want to butcher his name, but the Greek Freak, we see where his brother's at,
Yeah.
Mm,
so he's gonna
mm.
make it in the lead because of the name, and I'm not mad at it. All I
Yeah.
all I do will say is like he do got to put the work in because at the end of the day, you don't want to get clowned when you get
So
there. Go ahead.
no, so here's the scenario, right? Rich Paul says we're not signing a two-way contract. Ex NBA team says ex NBA team that Rich Paul would not like Bronny to go to says, you know what? I'm gonna draft Bronny. I'm just gonna do it, and now I got Bronny's rights. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit because you don't want to sign a two-way contract, June?
That's politics, right? At that point, and hey, I don't know if it's gonna get too deep to the point of like Rich Paul's like, fuck it, we ain't signing that contract. You know what I'm saying? Like we gonna play, but it's kind of tough because Bronny is not the caliber player to which you can do the Eli Manning. You know what I'm saying? Like let's be for real. I know he's LeBron James' son, and I agree with what SP's saying as far as how he's gonna make it, and he should. He should. Nepotism or whatever they call it. Yeah, great. But to the point of like where somebody kind of is being petty about it, then again, it's like, are you a good owner? Are you a good GM? What are you doing for your franchise if you're being spiteful, if you will, or, you know what I'm saying, doing something for like any sort of reach, you know? Like, what are we doing here?
Anybody be spiteful in this move is because they don't like LeBron, and I don't see that happening. I don't see the relationship that LeBron has with the commissioner. I don't see nobody trying LeBron, so that's why I believe that they already know what's going on. They already know what's gonna happen. That's why he told y'all he ain't signing no two-way deal, because he knows he ain't signing no two-way deal. LeBron already said what he wanted, and he gonna get what he want. Like, come on. Even with Lakers, you think the coach was the coach? LeBron was the coach.
That's right. It's a fact.
I want to kick it over to the chat because it's a bit jumping tonight. There was a lot of Celtics slander earlier by Samuel First Book of Kings. Tsunami VII the eighth. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to House Money. Stream that. Go listen to that. Go watch the video. He is the featured artist on the House Money record. He said, June, Jimmy Butler is going to be on the cover of 2K25. And I just wanted to, I'm sure you're looking at that right now. I like the smile on your face.
I mean, as much as I agree with it, as much as I like that thought, as much as I like that thought, we gotta be for real. You know what I'm saying? He said that he also said the Heat are winning this championship. So, we see what. Yo, but drop your plug number in the comments, my boy, because I'm trying.
Drop your plug number. Hey, I'm trying to get that. I have the plug.
Oh my goodness. Oh
snap.
I want to kick it over to the ice and then to other news before we do get out of here. Eastern Conference Finals, Game 5. The Panthers did manage to tie the series the other night. Shout out to Big Kev. Kev shot it at the watch party this evening. Hell of a win in Game 4. Very much needed win in Game 4 in overtime. We've seen 3 straight overtime games in this series. We are through one period, June. After 20 minutes, we are tied 0-0. I know it's Go Gatos. Vamos Gatos. June,
Dallas,
you're in New York.
Man.
You're in New York. What's the energy like in New York? Do you think the Panthers can pull this one off on the road?
Yeah, look, don't go to overtime is really the key here, right? This has been very strenuous. It's been very exhausting for both teams on each side, and you got to give credit to Shesterkin and Bob, obviously. Like, if it goes to overtime, I'm afraid New York has the upper hand just based on what they've been able to do all season and all playoffs. The Panthers, however, I think have the Rangers where they want them, because the Panthers have been playing, in my opinion, better hockey this series than the Rangers have, but it's gone to overtime. And, it's that whoever can score first wins, and overtime can be a fucking tip-in goal. It could be a lucky shot, like whatever the case is. Once that puck crosses that line, it's over. And so the key is for the Panthers to just stay the course, continue to do what they've been doing, wear them down, and I think that they can find themselves in a close win here. The fact that it's 0-0 at the end of one is kind of surprising to me. This might be the first game. I don't know if it is, but it might be the first game that's 0-0 after one. I don't know if game one did, but yeah, man, it's obviously high energy. I'm walking around, to and from work and to the gym and stuff, and you seeing guys and gals wearing that blue and red, wearing them Rangers jerseys, and best believe every chance I get, I'm getting a Go Cats, I'm getting a Go Panthers off, and they think I'm gonna say Go Rangers, so they smile, and then they cut the smile, like, wait, what the fuck? Who's the Panthers? Like, Panthers? Who likes the Panthers, right? Yeah, like, nah, yeah, that's Sunrise, Florida, bro. You know what I'm saying? Put some respect on that.
That's hilarious.
Just to kick it over real quick, it is 42-23 Dallas, and so sorry, bro. I don't know. It's looking scarce.
Not so fast. Tomorrow we'll have Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. That is in the NHL as the Oilers travel to Dallas for Game 5. That's the Edmonton Oilers, Dallas Stars. Series is tied 2-2. Dallas won Game 2 and Game 3, while the Oilers won Game 1 and Game 4. Once again, going back to Dallas tomorrow evening. I want to see Dallas pull this off, but Connor McJesus, as they call him, and the Edmonton Oilers are just literally standing on their heads, skating out of their minds. Strictly's putting on the Celtics mannequin fit.
The mannequin fit is crazy. Hey, real quick question, SP. Did you go with what made you go with the 7 instead of the 0? Was it the complexion? Was it Eastern Conference MVP? What was that?
So, I don't know if you believe in time travelers, but a time traveler told me this is Jaylen Brown's year. So, I got the jersey for that.
I don't, by the way, but I don't know if EP does. I'm sorry, I don't.
I mean, I like Back to the Future. It's a great movie, great series of movies.
There you go.
And then in other news, sorry about that. In other news, Champions League final this Saturday. It's going to be a doozy. Dortmund, Real Madrid. I'm going to take Los Blancos because that's just what I got to do. I just think they're unstoppable. No one is really on their level. I guess they are. I guess, Dortmund is because they're there with them. And they just upset Man City, a couple weeks ago to get to the Champions League final. But it's going to be a beautiful Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for some football, as they say, on the international front. And in other funny news, kick it back to the MLB, Jorge Lopez released by the New York Mets after saying, I think I'm a part, and don't quote me because I don't got the quote right in front of me, but I think I'm a part of the worst fucking team ever. Drew might be pulling it up right now, but I believe he said that. He tosses his helmet over the net, over the third baseline net. The Mets released him shortly after that. They're struggling. Nothing else is new on that side of is that the Hudson? Yeah, of the Hudson.
So wait. My apologies. Question. So they released him. They didn't trade him.
No, they released him. They released him.
That's what I heard.
That would be going to Queens. I think that's like East River.
That's the East River. You're right. The Hudson's the other side. You're right. You're right.
Couple things though. He did clarify that what he said was, I've been the worst fucking teammate in the MLB, and so listen, you threw the fucking glove into the stands, buddy. They didn't cut you because of what you said on the mic. They cut you because you threw the glove. They asked you if you regretted it, and you said no. Like, I mean, you could have at least not stood on that and was like, it was a little,
Is he Spanish?
Yeah, he's Dominican. I think he's Dominican, but he's definitely Spanish.
You gotta stand on that, man. You gotta stand on it.
Nah, like, that's real. Like, cool. But like, whether you want to clarify your comments or not, bro, you threw your glove over there, and they asked you if you listen. So, the manager, Carlos Mendoza, has said, we have standards here. When you're not playing well, guys will show emotions, there's frustrations, but there's a fine line. And yesterday, he went over that line. The Mets right now are at a point in their franchise, in their season, where it's just like, I don't know if anybody watched that Family Guy episode where they're like, Mets season starts, oh, season's over. And it's just like, it happens all the time. And, whether it's letting up close leads in the 8th inning to lose the game, whether it's signing fucking $500 million worth of players for salary and not getting the production, they're up to here. So right now, I don't think they're going to try to just give anybody any slack. They're going to cut everything that they can to just try to improve the character, improve the roster, improve the production on the field. And, you can't have somebody, embarrassing the organization even more than you guys have already kind of embarrassed yourselves with the production. So that's kind of where the Mets are right now. Catch me at a Mets game. Tickets should be like $7 to get in. I'll be there this summer.
The train fare is a little more than a ticket, I would assume, actually.
Wow.
Type shit.
That's crazy.
Honestly.
Real quick, EP, I did want to bring up. It was interesting to me that Hard Knocks was given to the Chicago Bears, right? So we're gonna go into the background of this, rebuilt roster and the number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams. I don't know that this is a good or bad thing for him or them, because right now they are suited to have a good season. They do have a good roster as constructed. Their draft looked well. Their GM, looks like he knows what he's doing and what he wants to do with this team. Coaching, yeah, I mean, hey, Eberflus, not the, most offensive guy. However, you figure they'll turn it around. This will be the year they turn it around for real. They got a quarterback. They have a wide receiving core. But now they got the cameras all in the building, listening to everything.
Facts.
All up in this shit. So you're either gonna sink or swim here, and it's a lot. Like Caleb Williams is dealing with the Wembanyama kind of situation with
the effect.
Best number 1 pick since, you know what I'm saying? This is the new Patrick Mahomes. Like Patrick Mahomes wasn't even Patrick Mahomes for like 2 years into his career, and
Facts.
he wasn't expected to have anything good for him. Coming into your NFL career expecting to be like the best quarterback in football, who is now a 2-time champion. That HBO every Tuesday for 4 or 5 weeks. It's a lot on your plate, bro. It's a lot on your plate. So if he can survive that and still have a successful rookie year, yeah, we got to have the conversation that Caleb Williams is really here to stay, because this is a lot. This is going
to be great to watch. It's going to be super entertaining. Grab a popcorn, pack a lunch. They might as well move this and stream it on TMZ's streaming channel, honestly, because this is going to be great. They might as well put Chicago and the Mets on Hard Knocks. That's what they might as well do at this point. No, I think it's going to be cool. I don't know if it's, like you said, like a good thing for him and for the team, going through this rebuild and having the potential that they have right now going into the season to have all these cameras and camera crews and, cameras all in their face during the season. It's gonna be in the middle of the season, correct?
No, this is the training camp. Like this is the one where they follow them through training camp, and it'll probably start sometime in late July, going into August or so.
You know what I hope? I hope they do a scrimmage with Dan Campbell and the Lions. That'd be great.
Hey,
that would be great.
Real quick, 2 minutes into the second period, Kreider scored. So Rangers are up 1-0 right now. I'm not sure. I think it was they were shorthanded. So I think they were shorthanded. It's a shorthanded goal. So
yeah, Florida on a power play couldn't get it done. Went the other way.
Who you guys got winning that game? The Rangers.
I mean, I fucking hope the Panthers win. But Game 5 at home, I mean, it's written for the Rangers to come out, with this one. But I've seen crazier things, so I'm gonna stick with the Panthers, and I think the Panthers understand that if they can get a win today, that's gonna be very, very, very big for them. So
yeah, I too have seen crazier things, such as Florida Panthers Boston Bruins series last year. I left Game 3 thinking there goes the season, and we rang off 4 straight games. That's all I'm saying. It could happen. It could happen. Vamos.
3 straight after that. But yeah.
3 straight. Sorry. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, as we cross the 55-minute mark. June, you got one more thing?
Yeah, I was going to say, you got something on your jersey. SP, wipe that shit.
Get it off my shoulders, my boy. Yeah, I got one more thing, though.
What up?
I'm still waiting for my apology.
Like I said, brother, finals are bust. So
all right, so okay. So how about this? So you say you might have me back for the finals. So if we win the
we will.
win the final. Okay, we win the finals. I want my apology. How about
100%? I'll make a video on Instagram for you, bro.
I want to hear.
Oh.
Because I didn't want to do it. So great.
Yeah, I want to hear on ATS.
You front and center, brother.
I need it on your own platform.
I'm proud to say it's not gonna happen, but yes, I got you.
Oh my God.
You see my teeth, bro.
As we cross the 55-minute mark, this has been your Thursday night All Things Sports, #1 sports talk show, brought to you by Small Town Productions. If you tune in on the live, appreciate you for taking time out of your beautiful evening. If you tuned in after the fact, thank you for taking time out of your beautiful day. As always, we'll see you Monday.
Hey, EP.
Yo.
Maybe we do a live stream. Fuck. Never mind, because looks
Monday
like
morning.
Ant-Man and them ain't gonna be able to you know what I'm saying, get it done
dubbed.
I was trying to do like maybe a live stream watching the game, reaction, but maybe we do it with the Panthers or something. We'll see what's up.
Yeah. We'll talk. June will be in Atlanta this weekend. We gonna fuck it. We ball, as they say. We'll see y'all on Monday.